a report of a grass fire in the 3300 block of Willow Point Road. Again, a report of a grass fire, 3300 Willow Point Road, timeout 0002.
Where you at, T-Bob?
I'm on the new dozer cut. I'm right behind the dozer. They're probably, I don't know, 300 or 400 yards, maybe 500 yards ahead of me. They're going to have to come back and work on it. There's no way we'll get a truck through this.
Radio communications is one of the key components to productivity and safety while working within the fire service. A basic understanding of our radio system, its flexibility and limitations, can help us utilize this resource to its best advantage in our day-to-day fire operations. Additionally, it is important that we all standardize our communications practices within the county system. Consistent, practiced, and expected brief communications is the key to firefighter safety and aids the incident commander, who is constantly taking this radio information in and updating the live incident action plan and making assignments as events unfold. Our handheld and truck radios operate on a limited line-of-sight basis. While the truck radios have a greater transmit power and therefore larger reach, they still are limited to a fairly short distance of a few miles depending on terrain and other obstructions. To overcome this limitation, our primary county radio, which is used for dispatch, is a repeated channel, or repeater, and can cover the entire county and beyond. So communications on the repeater should be limited and precise as everyone is listening. Repeater receives your handheld or truck signal on one frequency and instantly retransmits or repeats that same signal back out on a different frequency at a much higher elevation and power. This, in most instances, overcomes the terrain and obstruction interference that limits our personal and vehicle radios and allows a truck and parent to be heard across the county into Antelope or Newport if needed. And now a short discussion on radios and procedures from Fire Chief Jeremy Jennings.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about radio communications and radio traffic and radio channels. So first of all, I'll talk about the difference in our primary radio channel that we get our tones on, that we respond on, and our tactical channels. And the easiest way to break it down is that the primary channel, the Jack County Fire channel, when we get our tones on that and you're responding on that channel, everybody out there's hearing you from one side of the county to the other, whether it's a fire radio or the people in scanner land. But when you go to our tactical channel, not everybody's hearing you on the tactical channel. It's limited to basically line of sight, but that's not really how it works. It goes a little further, but you can reach a good distance with it, but you're not going to hear it from one side of the county to the other. It's only going to be between those people on that incident at that time that are really going to be able to hear it. And why is that important is that it's important to have those two different channels or the two different ways of communicating, for the fact that we don't tie up our primary channel with a whole lot of extra stuff that doesn't need to be there when there's other emergencies going on too. That's what the tactical channel is for, and it's our policy here at Jacksboro, and I would think the county would want to do the same thing as well. But if once you get on scene, you check on scene on the primary channel, which is the Jack County channel, you switch to the TAC 2 or another channel if you're told otherwise prior to responding. But every time we go to something, we're always switching to TAC 2, whether it's a car fire on the side of the highway or if it's a structure fire or a grass fire, we're always switching to TAC 2 because that's our best way of communicating without tying up the other channel. And it's important not to tie up the other channel for the simple fact that the extra resources you're needing, they're needing to be dispatched from that channel. So that again, it takes that pressure off that primary channel and it doesn't tie it up with a whole lot of garbage. And also when you're talking on the radio in general, it's good to keep things to a minimal. Keep things short. We don't carry on conversations like we're on the cell phone on the radio because it's not meant for that. It's meant for short, quick communication, not long-term communication. So it's a good piece of advice too. So let's talk about scanning. And a scanning feature is a good feature for some things, but it's a really bad feature for others. So if you're scanning and you're on TAC 2, for instance, and you're scanning, Jack County Fire is your primary channel. So if you're scanning we're working off TAC 2, and somebody hollers at you on TAC 2, and something else is going on primary, you're not going to hear the conversation on TAC 2 because it's automatically going to switch to primary. So it's important that you do not scan when you're on a fire scene in general, because once you're assigned to a channel, that should be the channel you're on. You're not worried about what's going on the primary channel, because whatever's happening on the primary channel, command is listening to that on a different radio that's not scanning too, so that they don't miss things too. But they're handling those situations. So if there's something that comes across, they're going to assign that out to somebody on the tactical channel, or if it's another call somewhere else and they need to send resources, they're going to send those resources and tell those resources, hey, switch back to primary, you're going to respond to this. So it's very, very important, and it's pretty dangerous sometimes too to be scanning when we're on an incident. For a house fire, for instance, if you're inside a structure fire and you're on TAC 2 and we're telling everybody that you're supposed to be on TAC 2 and we're telling everybody to get out of the house, but you're scanning primary and things are going on primary, we're calling for evacuation, but you didn't hear that evacuation because you're on the wrong channel, or you're scanning and you're picking up the wrong channel. So all that's important. It can be very dangerous at times, and it's just very important not to scan. And I kind of wish that sometimes that our radios didn't have that ability to scan, just for the safety factor.
Lastly, we'll review our available working channels for Jack County that you should be familiar with, and look at the radio appearance for identification. Displayed here is our primary or repeated dispatch channel. We also have 3 tactical or working channels, TAC 2, TAC 3, and TAC 4, as shown here for everyday operations. Additionally, we utilize V-Fire channels. V-Fire channels are statewide interoperability channels and are used when utilizing mutual aid from out-of-county resources, or if we respond to a mutual aid call and are working outside of our own county. These are all important to be aware of and know how to find. This flexibility allows for seamless communications when working within a complex multi-agency response anywhere in the state. Please become familiar with your various departmental radios, their channel selection and operation. Thank you for your time and attention, and stay safe.